good question. I'll get right to it here in a minute. I really don't have a statement. Yeah. Oh, this one right here. Said, beyond the obvious judging football ability on tape, what goes into researching the character of transport portal players and their reasons for transferring and projecting how they will fit as team members and not distractions regarding their playing time? How could that research be done methodically and carefully this 22-23 period when you took so many expected to play key roles immediately? I think in our transfer portal evaluation, a lot of it relies on where they're transferring from to. I mean, we want to call and talk to as many folks as we can from the school that he's transferring. Obviously, character becomes the number one concern. We've already evaluated. We just very rarely, now there's some instances when we take guys from the portal that haven't played a lot of ball, but we very rarely have had success doing that, to be honest with you. We have to see them on tape for the most part playing at, we don't really care what level. I mean, there is a concern about, who they're playing against. But we go back and research if we have seen any 40 times, we research how many times they've been hurt. Are they coming in with the injury? And then we try to find out as much as we possibly can about character. And obviously we go from our boards to needs, and then we rank our needs, and then we rank the guys coming in and however they are on our needs. That's how we bring them in first, second, third, fourth. And to be perfectly honest with you, we try to find out if they're looking for an NIL deal or they're looking for a team. If they're looking for just an NIL deal, a lot of times we don't have just great success with those guys. But if they're looking for some NIL and things of that nature, not necessarily the highest bidder, we do real well with those guys. Hope I answered the question.
Mock game Saturday?
Friday, tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything out of the box?
No, to be honest with you, our mock game has kind of gone a little bit, Trey, into, I believe taking the stress out of the kids is a main concern about game day. So we will do everything from pregame meal. Now we're not going to do it four hours before the game, but we'll do everything from pregame meal, how we do that, to we'll do the hog walk, to running through the A, to where do we set, to a bunch of substitutions. We'll go through goal line and make sure we have the goal line out there. But we used to put on shells and run a kind of a game. We used to put on spiders, and then we went to spiders, and now it's we use that for announcing our captains tomorrow, and then we use it for team photo, and then we use it for just substitution. It's almost like a subscript, a little more physical than a subscript would be on a Friday afternoon. In other words, nobody will get taped and things like that tomorrow. It'll be more of mental than what it'll be physical, and showing them from the beginning to the end to everything of what game day is all about.
Got me this week. How difficult is that conversation, and how do you broach that with somebody like, been working on our offense, working on our defense, and now we need to work on the opponents?
Well, I think it's tough. The first thing I did, I put up two guys that were scout team players that went in the first round. Isaiah Wilson played on the scout team the entire year. And 2 years later, he went in the first round. And Jonathan Cooper, I coached him at North Carolina, was a scout team, redshirted guy, and then was a 7th pick in the draft. Guys learn a little bit different. Some guys aren't big enough, strong enough yet, but I showed them, talked about, their dreams, whatever their dreams may be, is they can still have them. These guys did, and they continue to do it. But we've got, the better your players get, the better your scout team gets. I can remember in 2017 at Georgia, our scout team, I know on both sides of the ball, but I was more, knew more about the defensive scout team, was incredible. And I think it helped us tremendously. And I think the better your players are, the better scout team your look team's going to be. And I thought they did a really good job. Alex Sanford is down there right now. I don't know, he'll be there all year. He makes a lot of plays down there. And there's guys showing out every day, or the last 2 days since we've moved scouts. So really proud of them. The conversation is hard, though.
Put a bow on what you thought of camp now that it's done, and then the prep for Western Carolina. How it's gone so far? What you think of the plan?
Well, I like camp. We are beat up. If you guys come to practice, there's several guys in. There's some guys in green. There's some guys not in there. There's some guys, things that. I do not think today, though, to be perfectly honest with you, that we'll have anybody. I don't think that we'll have anybody miss a game except for obviously Bakke. We're trying to be smart with them. Some of the guys today, we did scout team work with them, but did not do good on good work with them. We had 3 different segments of good on good. We didn't put them in live action. We do have some guys with some ankle injuries, some things of that nature that we've got to get healed up between now and when we play next Saturday. So it's been a physical camp. It was a physical practice today. It was just a Tuesday practice for us, but there's 3 segments of good on good and a lot of physicality. We went goal line, we went short yardage, all those things that obviously we all know we needed work on last year. And we're trying to correct all those things. So really proud of where we've been. I wish we weren't as banged up as we are right now, but I believe that by Monday, at least half, maybe more of the guys that were holding the good on good sections, I think what we got.
We saw Quincy yesterday. I'm not sure about today. So
Quincy McAdoo?
Quincy McAdoo.
Yeah.
Slim chance this year, and what does it look like?
Well, you never want to take a guy's, 3 months ahead of him. But if I was saying here, he needs some physical development. I had a long talk with him yesterday, and he's 192. He came in at 170 something, and he looked frail to me a little bit yesterday because he was 204, I think, before he had his accident. But he is doing really well. We want him to. He's coming every day now. We want him to help us coach as a student coach until he gets his physicality back, and then we'll figure out what happens after that. I love him. I think he's doing really good. I do. I think I have a long talk. He'll have to tell you, and I'm sure he'll be more than happy to talk to you. But I think start of camp crushed him, because he wasn't able to be out there with the team and all those things. But I think he's doing well. The conversation, I've talked to him for 45 minutes yesterday. That conversation, I think he's in good spirits. He's a Christian young kid. He believes there's a reason for everything. And he's going to make the best of his situation, and we'll get his strength back totally and see him.
And you mentioned, when a guy goes in poorly, it's always old school. What are those